Yeah. Hi everyone. Good morning or good evening if you're in Europe. Um, I'm out at a different location today. It's Umpqua Hot Springs, very near Crater Lake. So north of Shasta, where we were before. Um, it's a natural hot springs. Where the actual hot springs are, there's no bandwidth whatsoever. And I'm actually shocked that there's even, reception here because it's really out in the middle of nowhere. And I think there's just a small hydraulic dam and maybe they have a cell tower for that. Because other than that, in the half hour driving in, there was pretty much nothing. So it feels really remote. Like Shasta definitely felt like wilderness, but this is like super, super remote. Like, just like driving in for the last couple hours, there's no town. There's basically nothing here except national forest. And it's a volcanic area, and that's why you find these hot springs cropping up actually in much more places than I would have thought. So, totally been surprised. And again, like I never would have thought, before to, come out here. So going into, Lower Oregon and, I didn't even know the park system was so extensive out here. Um, and we met somebody at Shasta, a music player, didgeridoo player, sound healer, and connected with him over getting a we both got tickets in the same day. That's how we connected. Um, very very strict enforcement of some kind of silly things down there at the base of the mountain, and then we kind of connected over that. Went up to the top of the mountain. We were both there, and that's how we wound up finding out about this really really interesting location. So it's actually the hot spring with the highest lithium concentration, perhaps in the world, and that can have effects on sleep, so it can enhance sleep, potentially balance mood as well. And it's yeah, completely natural hot spring, totally out in the woods. There's no structures around that. There's no piping, and it's just people who carved into the rock. So there's kind of one initial spring, and people carved down little channels and like carved out hand carved pools, and there's about five pools out there. So you have this really cool thing, totally out, very out in the middle of nowhere, and the vegetation is super different. So there are redwoods here, kind of like you would have in Shasta or some other place in California, but
Wow.
it's there's also a whole bunch of other trees here too. So it's, you have the redwoods, but in some areas like this, it's mostly not redwoods. It's kind of these other conifers, but it gives a, just kind of a really nice vibe over here. Yeah, very very relaxed, good energy. So yeah, I'm definitely excited to kind of take the call from here and bring all the kind of spirits of the land over this into our session here.
Yes, thank you for bringing us out there with you, Jonah. Yeah, surprisingly, the connection's super good. I was like, you
I
got a
was
really good
shocked. I'm
connection.
getting 5 bars here in the middle of nowhere. Again, like driving in for the last hour, there might have been like one bar, like half a bar. In the last half hour, there is nothing, like complete, no signal. So I was delayed. I thought I would, have to drive out for an hour to like take this call. And then we, kind of rolled into this again, like super informal campground. Like there's no one even here. Like there's no ranger here. There's no even right collection facility. They've kind of just set it up nicely so people can come in and camp, but basically it feels, kind of like very free, basically. Um, and there's Wi-Fi, which is incredible. So, or not Wi-Fi, but full cell service, which is really incredible. So, yeah, very grateful.
Yeah. So Eneko mentioned that why don't we work with the heart today, the heart chakra? And so I think that's a great idea. And so, Jonah, do you have a direction with this, or did you want to start us off, or did you want me to go into the channeling state, start us off? What are your thoughts?
I think so. I think we should all kind of focus on the heart chakra and feel what's going on for us right now and kind of take stock of the situation. So I'll take a moment and just do that. Yeah, for me it's feeling very neutral kind of at the moment. Um and I've had some very, very large up and downs over the last couple of days. Maybe, maybe kind of because of that, um, turmoil. I feel like because it was so extreme, like things kind of settled out or equilibrated, or it came to kind of like a resting state, a state of yeah, kind of a state of calmness. Um, yeah, after the opposite of that. Um, and yeah, maybe some things just kind of naturally cleared out.
Yes, I can sense that as well. I've also had a little bit of the ups and downs recently, and I'm also sort of in the resting state where it's a bit more calm and not so uppity downy. So yes, I understand resonate.
Okay. How about you, Anika?
Interesting for me, it was more for the third eye. I felt some activations, and in the crown, in the heart, not much. So more
Hmm.
like the upper chakras, in the throat also. I felt some release, um, um, like big emotions that came up, but that was good because at least I was capable to like suppress or like cry out or let them. Um, yeah, but that was like huge in a couple of days, like this with this new moon. I think I'm not sure it was full moon or new moon, but again, these moon phases were
Yeah,
kind
this
of
this
strong.
moon was super powerful, and I think even either the night of the
Yeah.
full moon or the night after the full moon, I was up for most of the night. And I was at a different hot springs there, the Harbin hot springs, and I went out to the hot springs. Like I couldn't sleep for 2 hours. I'm like, okay, we tried this, not happening. And I went out into the hot springs, yeah, at night and just stayed there for another couple hours before coming back. But yeah, like that last full moon had a ton of, yeah, just had a ton coming down. So
Yeah, and what I realized that it's not just that day when it's the moon, it's 2 or 3 days before and after that also because it has strong effect. So I couldn't really sleep on these days, or I feel more dizziness or more anxiousness. I don't know, you feel the same?
mm, yeah, I mean, I think on the full moon I feel more energy, but particularly in the last couple of days, and it may have to do with some, astrological phenomena as well. It was a bit it was a bit kind of destabilizing. I've also found that different locations have also carried a lot of energy. So the Shasta energy and here also is kind of very supported and kind of balances things out. But sometimes like going out of that area, if you've been in there and then like going out, then you kind of lose that kind of backing, and things can kind of in some ways just sort of fall apart for some time.
But
And that Go ahead.
yeah, I think it's also about because you are in nature, but you also use like a computer or phone. But I think it's about the electricity, so that can again like make you more, I don't know, feeling tough. But in nature, you let easier yourself to be free.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
think
I
that's
love
enough.
being in nature. It really helps a lot. Helps a ton. Um, so yeah, that's why, I love being
Oh,
out
and
here.
the dog is really lovely. I saw the photo.
You
That's
saw the dog.
your dog. Yeah, really
We're
cute.
we're still making the decision about the dog.
Mhm.
That one seemed like quite a good option because it was really calm and it wasn't that big, so it I like we could totally see it going in the car and like coming out here to places like this. It seemed like a very manageable one, where like others were, yapping around, barking around, like moving around a bit, a bit too much. We're gonna check one other shelter that's kind of around here. So like around here a little bit to the north in Oregon. Um, and give that a check. Um, to, I don't know, like see if there's a wiser dog, or a little bit more. I mean, that dog seems like really great and easy. We may go with her, but we're just gonna give a check over here and see.
What do you worry about? Because it looks like he suffered a lot, no? So you worry about that, how he will be like fine, no?
What do
Because
you mean?
he was or something. I'm not sure. I read something that you wrote something about him, that he's suffering. He suffered a
Oh
lot or
yeah, no, it was a
something.
very shy dog. So these are like shelter dogs. So like we're going to these animal
Mhm.
shelters where the dogs are basically taken from very bad situations, taken from the street, often coming from backgrounds of abuse, and this dog was no exception. So it had pretty severe scars on on its legs. So it must have gotten like some really deep cuts. So people speculated that it would probably been abused and then kind of put out on the street, and it was probably there for a few months, um, at least 3 months, and then it was picked up, and it's only a year old. So it had kind of all that trauma in this time. So it's when you first meet it, like it didn't like just come over to us like right away and like start hanging out and like all of that stuff. Like it takes, by the end it was like letting me pet it, and that was very nice. And I enjoyed that. But it's more shy initially. And they were saying that like it does kind of warm up, but you have to stay with it a little bit to get that to
Mm.
happen. And they were also saying that with a lot of the dogs in the shelters, that's the case because they have um similar backgrounds. They've experienced a lot of difficulty in trying situations. Um, but we do want to sort of help a dog out that's in that situation. So that's one thing. And then also because of that background, they have some more capabilities too. Like they have more street smarts and they're able to handle different situations better. And also because it's not just born, it has some training, it has some mannerisms, and you can kind of see like if it's going to be able to come around, and how it's going to be, and how it's going to be with kids, primarily Jan, who's 11 years old, and primary that's who the dog would be for. So it's important to kind of gauge how the dog would be with a child. So we are we're yeah, we're evaluating that. That dog seems like it would definitely work. So yeah, it's interesting because I had wanted a dog growing up. We didn't get it. My parents didn't want to be kind of potentially caught walking the dog if I didn't do it. So the dog didn't quite happen. Um, and now it's fun. It's funny. Like I was echoing some of their kind of concerns about this. I was like, oh, it's going to be like too much work with the dog. But I do think it would provide some more, emotional balance and support. So I reconsidered my position on that, and I do think that the dog is a good thing, and it took me several months to come around to that. but yeah, I changed my point of view on the dog. I'm now pro dog. So so it looks like this will happen. This it looks like it'll happen one way or the other. With that dog, or on Monday we're gonna see another shelter here.
Mm. Very nice. That's a big life uh event or life growth opportunity. So yeah, I think that'd be great.
Yeah, yeah, totally.
Yes. Ah, maybe Ra would like to channel on pets. And
I
I
think
think
that's a good topic because this doesn't come up so much.
yes. And I can see the connection with our heart chakra as well. They help us open our hearts and connect. So let's see. Yes, dear ones, yes. We are Ra. We greet you in the love and the light of the one infinite creator. Indeed, indeed. What a beautiful day. What a beautiful sky in nature. Yes. One moment. We will step in a bit more. A bit more. Ah, yes. Yes, yes, yes. And so we greet you once more. And we love the discussion and the chit chat amongst this lovely group here. And particularly the topic of pets, of the beautiful, furry friends. And indeed, there is a deep connection, a deep bond, a soul bond that occurs between the caregiver for the pet and the pet themselves, and the heart portals between them open and mirror and shine and shimmer. And there is great healing here. There is great healing here. For as you have noticed, the many pets are are abused. They have trauma. They have experienced things in their lives that have shut them down quite a bit. And this is also, of course, mirrored in many of the humans and the many of the pet caregivers. And so when a pet that has been abused meets and greets a human that has also experienced trauma in this way, there's a great opportunity for both hearts to open, for there is a great opportunity for the trauma that both have experienced to be transmuted and turned into something oh so great and beautiful. And so we love the bonds and relationships that humans form with their furry friend families. And we encourage this if this is something that resonates with you, for it indeed can heal your heart and heal much more as well. For there can be much that is let go of, much responsibility that can be taken upon and acted upon. And so there is a great strength indeed that is cultivated by caregiving for another. There's a great loving strength that is created as well. So there is much benefit and much great love that comes about from the pet and caregiver dynamic relationship. Yes.
Thank you. And what about yeah, dogs in particular? Is there anything to say about that?
Yes. Our dog friends. The the natural characteristic of the the dog, the the canine form is indeed very open-hearted, specifically the dogs, for they have been throughout the eons with humanity co-evolved, and this natural heart-based connection has been formed. And so indeed, dogs are naturally very open-hearted, very open. And so this can indeed be in some situations, not most. We say most are very loving. However, some, this natural open-heartedness can be very traumatic for them in that it is not the open-heartedness that is traumatic. However, they become so open to their caregivers or those that are supposed to be caregivers, and the caregivers themselves may be quite abusive. And so this brings about a great trauma to dogs. If you were to look at the feline friends, they are much more independent, yes, and they are uh very stoic in ways, and so those are more, they're also loving in their own ways. However, when it comes to dogs, they indeed require a different level of care, for they are very much like babies, human babies that really desire and require this great attention and care from the parents. And so when a parent does not provide this love and care, but rather provides the abuse, then indeed this can be very traumatic for the dog and close them down. And so those that are in the shelters that have experienced this trauma, it is a great service indeed for humans to provide a new home, a new environment of love and light for these furry friends, for they indeed deserve it, and they will indeed mirror it back to you once you are able to melt away some of the ice that has formed around their hearts. Then they will oh so abundantly return and share this love, for they see you indeed as their family. And so they are great teachers in this way. They teach you how to stay heart-centered and open. Yes.
Wow, thank you. Well, it's definitely a an interesting journey to embark on. So I'm glad to have that perspective. So yeah, so why don't we go into the heart again, and Ra, if you want to guide on that more, definitely would be more than open.
Yes, very well. So we will take a deep breath together and let us hold it at the top for a few moments. And then, sigh of relief as you exhale. Really letting your body relax, your shoulders drop down. And let us do two more together, these sigh of relief breaths. Deep breath in, and one more all together. Deep breath in. Ah. Yes, and now let us think about a loving memory we had, one that naturally brings about a sense of warmness in our hearts. Yes. And if a past memory does not come about, we could also create a future one, an experience that you wish to have of love with, whether it is a furry friend or another, or this open-hearted sharing. Yes, and let us think about this for a few moments together. And as you immerse yourself a bit more into this loving memory, notice the effects it has on your heart, how it in a more relaxed yet there is a energy, a warm energy around it and within it, springing forth from it. And notice how it also energizes the rest of your body. It spreads from your heart, not just through the blood, but the, the warm love energy itself. It permeates the space within the body. And now give thanks and your gratitude and blessings to the memory, to the individuals within the memory, to the situation and environment itself within the memory. Give your thanks, give your blessings. Let us also rest again in the heart space for a few moments. Yes, and from here, let us harmonize the rest of the body structure with this heart space, with this heart energy. And so, starting from the heart, we will begin to expand out little by little, and we will start upwards. So, from the heart, let us see a light begin to shine. They can be filaments, they can be streams, they can just be light shining upwards and moving into the throat space. And let us feel our heart connect with that area. Now let us move down a little by seeing, by sensing and feeling the heart energies move down into the solar plexus area, filling up that space in the body and harmonizing with the heart and throat. Now also see this loving energy move through the arms, through the shoulders and arms, the back of the neck as well, all the way through the arms to the very fingertips. And now we will use our hands to help guide and harmonize more of this energy. And so you can tap your third eye, and as you do, see the love from your shining centers of the heart, the solar, the throat, and even the arms begin to move through and up into the center of your head and fill up the whole head space. And you can also tap the back of your head. And from here, let us tune back into our heart space and remember that wholesome, loving energy that pulses throughout our body. And we'll see some of this energy begin to move down more, once again through the solar and down lower into the stomach, belly, core area, and begin to fill that entire space as well. And while it fills, you can rub your stomach, your belly, in a nice warming way. And from here, let us see this harmonizing energy of the body move down more into the root area, into the butt and legs, filling up that whole space. And moving down through the knees, through the calves, through the feet, through the toes. And you can tap your feet on the ground a bit. And as you do, see the roots of the earth meet you, roots growing from the core of Gaia, growing upwards to meet you. And you see roots from your feet as well, growing downwards. And you meet Gaia. Very well. And now from here, let us tap the very top of the head, the crown. Yes. And then we will nice and steady, slowly raise both arms to greet the sun star, the sun chakra that is above the head, above the crown. And we will warm the hands there, feeling the gentle warmth of the sun, warm the hands. And then we will gently guide some of the sun energies down through the crown, through the head, mixing with and harmonizing with the body energies, moving down through the throat and resting in the heart. And from there, we could also see the love and energy from Gaia move up more through our feet, through the legs, through the root, through the sacral and through the solar, and then meeting the sun energies and the rest of the body right at the heart space. Yes, and from here, we will share some of this love and energy with Gaia herself so we can envision the planet, the beautiful blue and green Gaia in front of us, and let us share and emanate some of this energy towards her and also receive more love from her as well in this sharing, receiving way. And from here, if there is a more personal area in your life that you wish to heal or enliven, we may bring this to our minds, and we could also share this loving energy with that situation or area in our life.
Thank you, Leah, for bringing that up. No, I've come to notice that I have kind of some latent rage that's there, and usually I wouldn't have really noticed it before because I guess I'm good at ignoring it, maybe suppressing it, suppress rage. Um, but yeah, no, now I'm aware that it is still there, lingering, and again, like I wouldn't really even notice it or know that it's there. Um, but yeah, but how can we kind of go into this and let's say deal with it constructively and get to a place where that can be released and doesn't have to be there anymore. If it is still there, I've been working on releasing it, but I think I'm probably, you know, because I just found out about it, I'm probably more at the beginning of working on it, I would imagine.
Yes. Well, dear one, we are the broken record, or we will say the cycling record of indeed exercise is indeed a very potent way to process this. Yes.
Mm.
And so we will explain more of the mechanics of what is occurring. As each and every one of you have chosen to be born into humanity at these times, you have chosen this to help process, not just process, help transform, help alchemize, help uplift these energies, such as rage, such as aggression, depression, shame, fear. All of these things are really speaking about the same thing, which is a a certain shape of expression, a certain constriction in the energy flows that limit one to express themselves in this sort of way, for they do not know how else. So they must express their energy or they will indeed explode or, yes, in this way. And so they do. They do explode in some ways. And so some of these anger energies that you're feeling, it's important to first understand it is not inherently yours. It is not inherently anybody's. It is we will say, misperception of what is occurring, of life, and therefore there is a desire to express themselves in these limiting ways. And so how can you best process this? Indeed, it is important to understand that you have a body. And so the body, just like a pet, and we will come back to this beautiful example, the bodies must be moving in some way. They must be exerting themselves in some way. Otherwise, these energies, whether it be anger or whatever the energies are, they begin to stagnate. They begin to stagnate and they will indeed rot in some ways. They will indeed create these patterns that are very constricted. And so when energy and life tries to move through it, it will cause these eruptions. And so why do we emphasize the exercise? Because the exercise, and again, not the forcing exercise, but more of there's squeezing involved that is a stable squeezing as opposed to a gritting of the teeth and this sort of thing. This can be a part of the beginning stages. However, the exercise we are speaking of is really it's where you squeeze until you sense that you're at that point of almost gritting the teeth, yes, almost squeezing too much, and then you relax, yes, and then you squeeze again. And what you will find is this begins to pump the energies. You are using your body just as a pump. Yes. And this will begin to move. And this is really what the Kundalini exercises are aiming to do. They are aiming to pump the stagnant energies, not just at the root, although much of it does coalesce there. Ultimately, it's throughout the entire body and around the body, in the field, in the auric field, that the energies stagnate and begin to constrict. And so as you begin to practice squeezing and relaxing, and you do this day by day, yes, through your own practice, you will begin to notice that you are actually pumping the energies, the anger energies, the fearful energies, just energies. You are just pumping these energies, and they will begin to move more. And they will not just move, they will revitalize you. They will get you more. Yes, they will trigger a cascade of the feel good endorphins. All of this is a part of it. And then you'll actually then be able to use this energy to create things in your life more holistically and wholesomely, as opposed to more angrily and frustratingly and stressfully. Once you have this this the energy, the blood, the fluids, this pumping through your body, when you engage with life, whether it's another person or another situation or a business project, you can do so with much more vibrancy and light and love. And so this is why we practically come back to the body, because there is so much that humans do not realize, just how much life you are collecting in a way, absorbing, collecting, spewing out as you go about your day to day. Every time you meet someone, every time you think about something, there is an energy exchange. And if you don't have a smooth flowing system, the energy exchange won't be smooth. It will be more like this, and then the energy will begin piling up because it can't move through your system smoothly. And then it leads to the stagnation and the buildup and all of this, the anger, yes, all of this. So firstly, it is important to not judge when you sense these things, and just understand this is life, this is energy. There's nothing fundamentally wrong with this. Even if I may become angry or frustrated or sad, or there's nothing fundamentally wrong. This is just energy. It is life. And so this first and foremost understanding will then help you step into a place where you can begin to work with this life more. You can begin to not only move it through your body and enliven your body, but also move it through your life and enliven your your greater life, whether it's again through the relationships or the business projects and all of this. And so, yes, this is, we say it starts with your body. Indeed, it really does. Yes.
Oh, I love this message. It was really nice. Can I ask questions? Because now I have many questions.
Yes, yes, indeed.
Um, maybe it will be another session because I think it's a long topic, but I really want to learn the process, how to alchemize these emotions. Because, like, as you said, there are many, like the palette is really big, like anger, sadness, grief. So, how you can do extra steps to be conscious what are these emotions and how you can release them.
Indeed. And
So,
yes. So in the process of identifying these lingering subconscious energies, what is really the easiest and most fun way is to follow your excitements. In that, when you recognize that there's something that excites you or something that is passionate for you, and you also can can wisely see that, oh, it's not hurting anyone. There's nothing wrong with this. Yes, there's no hurt
Mm.
involved. Then by you pursuing that, you will not only experience more excitement, you will also begin to activate and enliven the stagnant life. And indeed, in that process, some of it can be that sort of anger experience or worry or doubt or all of this. However, most of it will be a good amount of it will be exciting, yes, because you are pursuing or you are thinking about this exciting idea or a project. And so then in that pursuit of it, because you must then pursue it in a way, you must create it, you must build it, then there will be an activation as well of the the stagnant life. And so yes, it can be uncomfortable and all of this. And so really the way to process this then, we say, is indeed this idea of expansion and contraction. Yes, expansion and contraction, the squeezing and the relaxing and releasing. Yes. So all of you understand the great benefits of nature, the great benefits. And indeed, this is extremely beneficial, important, and helpful. And so mechanistically, what is it doing? It is it is helping you to expand. Yes, it is helping you to expand. You are tuning into your bigger Gaia body, Mother Gaia, who is always here supporting. However, when you are trapped in a building or this, you do not really feel that connection as strongly, yes? So when you step out and you step into nature, you naturally expand, and you not only expand your 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 mind in that way, you expand all of that stagnant life within your body. That also gets to expand. And so it is very beneficial to indeed have the nature time. Now, again, that is sort of just one side of the coin, for it is also about the contraction. It is also about coming within. And indeed, meditation is a great way to do this. However, what we are encouraging is to see exercise as a meditation. For it's nothing, for everything in life is a meditation. It's a form of meditation. So as you are exercising, if you have that higher intent of, oh, I'm doing this to get the life going, to pump it up, not and I am doing it without forcing. I'm doing it just to that limit so that I can increase my capacities for joy and for life, but I am still increasing it. I'm growing. And so when you begin to do that and you expand and you contract and you do all of this, indeed you are processing this life that is like this, that is like that. You're beginning to, yes, and then there will come a point very in this process where you feel so much joy and and it becomes a flower of life, blooming sort of experience. And you no longer dread the exercise. Yes, you're like, yes, let's do it. Let's bloom some more. Yes. And there's some very natural joy that comes from this. But we do say it must be done. Yes, the gears must be set in motion. For if it is not, then you are kind of just
Mm.
spiraling around the same thing, and you are building up momentum. However, ultimately, you must press the trigger. You must do it. And so, yes, dear ones, we emphasize this because many of the questionings you have will be solved naturally by yourself in doing this, in the nature time, in the exercise time, and all of this. And so, really, you do not need to find out more. You just need to do it, and you will experience the benefits of what we are saying.
No, and it's, I think that we are just studying about it, but to actually put into practice, like
Yeah, I mean, talking about
prana,
practice, I'm about to do some push-ups right now. We got to get the energy flowing.
Whee!
So,
like qigong or something,
Yes.
reiki. I think that's
Qigong
why
is
many spiritual people like emphasizing to do practice, because you need to involve your body also to the process.
indeed, indeed. And the body is a part of the mind. This is what is also very
Mm.
missed. Many people
Yeah.
disassociate, but it is a part of it's together. And so it must be incorporated fully. So indeed, dear one, indeed. So yes, the push-ups, the water, the all of this. Yes, yes, yes. The nature. Yes.
Yeah, that's why you do the practice with your
Yes.
hands and everything we need.
Indeed. Yes.
yeah, excellent. I want
Yeah.
to thank both of you, Aniko, Leo, for coming on. It's been been a beautiful session. I think there's a lot to work through. I have a lot to work through, right? Some things that have come up that kind of come to the surface that I didn't see. Um, and I appreciate the perspective that we brought on them here, and I'm sure in future sessions we'll be able to dig a bit deeper. So I want to thank everybody for now, and we will see you all next week at the
You.
same time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.